In today's video, we're going to be discussing the upcoming Pokemon TCG set, the Scarlet Violet base set. Now the set doesn't come out until the end of March, so we're going to be working on a little bit of information here, but I'll try and make it as reliable as I can. Now on to the first topic of today's video, which will be cards. We all love them, we all like them. Sometimes we think they're a bit decent, but other times we don't think they're good at all. But the Scarlet Violet set is no exception to that. So what I've noticed so far is that they're actually recycling a couple types of different cards. And what I mean by that is that they're using similar cards from past generations. Just take a look at the Full Art EXs. Looks pretty similar to the Full Art GXs, doesn't it? That's because it is. I mean, if you look at it, the only two differences are that one, it has a little EX logo. Number two, it has a Pokemon that wasn't around during the GX era. But those are the only two differences that you can see in this. Now, I can understand if the Pokemon Corporation would want to do this because, coming up with all these different card types must be a bit challenging, I mean, they've came up with plenty already. I really feel like that I can understand this from their point of view because, trying to make a bunch of new types of cards would be pretty hard. But at the same time, I really feel like we should stop reliving the past memories of the EX and GX era and just move on. And on top of that, the Pokemon Corporation is not just recycling the Full Art GXs, but the EXs as a whole, which I don't know exactly how to feel about that. I mean, the first time we used them was back in the mid-2000s, the second time we used them was back in the mid-2010s, and now we're using them again in the early 2020s. I mean, that's 3 decades in a row we've used these things. I mean, we got to retire them at some point. Otherwise, consumers will get tired of thinking, oh look, EX. Oh, and guess what? For the next generation, here's some recycled GXs, Need change. You can't just keep on using EXs over and over again. And one more thing I'd like to state before we move on to the next topic, Pokemon Corporation is also incorporating the silver borders that are used in Japan, which I really like, because the yellow borders, they look a bit off-colored. With some cards like Fire-type cards, they can go well, but besides that, they can't really go too well with anything else. So I'm really glad that they're implementing silver borders for the Pokemon TCG here in America and in other countries as well. Now, our next topic will be for the time being, there's not too much information on the product itself, but I will say something about the ETBs though. It's interesting how they have 9 packs instead of 8 packs. We've been used to the 8 pack system for quite some time now, more than 10 years at this point. So it seems interesting how they want to add an extra pack, which also is a bit off considering that they're increasing the pack prices from $4 MSRP to $449 MSRP. So it seems odd why they want to add an extra pack when the pack price is actually higher. That's something that I noticed, which came across pretty interesting to me. But besides that, there's not much until the set actually comes out. You just get your standard booster packs, booster bundle, ETB, booster box. Nothing else besides that really, at least until the set premieres March 31st, 2023, for all of you who don't know. But there's not really going to be much information. So we might as well move on to the next topic from here, which will be there are many things this set can do to affect the rest of the generation. One of them is being a weak base set that doesn't really have that much variety, that really doesn't have that much intrigue with anyone, and before you know it, it ends up flopping. That's the last thing you want, but it's still a possibility out there. And if this does happen, that means the other sets after that tend to be bad as well. So it's somewhat detrimental that the Scarlet Violet has at least a somewhat decent base set, because then that could set the path for other good sets to come in and make it even better. But personally, I think the Scarlet Violet base set will do just fine, it's already coming off to look like a pretty good set already, but it's also going to be the first set to use EX cards for the third time. So that's going to be another interesting thing. On top of that, the first set to use silver borders, the first set to not have rainbow rares since 2017, and the first set to not have regular rares since the base set. So while it may just seem like an ordinary base set from the outside, it's actually making a ton of changes. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Scarlet Violet set turns out. I'd say it's going to be received pretty favorably. It's not going to be anything extremely remarkable. It's just going to be a good solid set that we can build a good foundation off of, and then build other good sets off of it. But besides that, let's move on to the final topic. So my final thoughts on this set is that it's going to turn out to be pretty good. It has some pretty good cards as well, but I don't really exactly like how they're reusing the EXs, but you guys will probably think differently, and I don't mind that. But, you know, I just really feel that they really should have made a different type of card, but at the same time, you can understand why they didn't, because that would take a lot of work, a lot of extra printing they would have to do, which is something that they're clearly trying to cut down on. But besides all that, I really feel like that this set is going to go far, it's going to take us to places that we never thought we'd even be taking ourselves, and it's going to propel ourselves into even better sets than the last. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you got to this point, make sure to comment Scarlet or Violet down below. But always, always remember, no matter where you're going, what you're planning on doing, that Charizard is temporary, Arceus is eternal. I'll see you guys around. Bye-bye. Yo, that was actually pretty smooth.